Righty-ho. Never coming back here. There isn't a word for the thing, for the... I mean, what have you had 10 or 15 years? All this endless, absurd, horrific, narcissistic, Teletubby language that's arisen, even though it all came from Paul Benham and his tribe originally. But abundance, flourish, manifest. I mean, it's everywhere in this whole region. It's appalling. Because these words are meaningless. They're just words, but they're words only to say, I'm nice, because I use the word abundant. Refer to Charlotte Church. No, it's been going on for 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's all revved up after during 2021. I actually saw it as they realised in 2020, oh my God, I can't even get a job. There's going to be competition for a job as toilet cleaner at the local pub. Righty-ho, can I set myself up as some new messiah online, spreading the health, wellness? Yes, it's just so flourished. It's so abundant, but it actually damages your way to think. Now, I know this because I'm an expert on the body and mind-body. And okay, you can always use the words like, you can even use the words like soul. Anyway, what was I going to say? Abundance. Yes, there is only one thing that matters, and I mean it. Literally one thing. I've actually been putting my life force, I deliberately don't use the word spirit, because it's been stolen. Even Raina Winn, when she's caught with her knickers down, really badly down, £64,000 of stealing money from a small business, even if they're the most in the evil world of being an estate agent. But then far worse than that, actually far worse than that. Now, as part of my research, I haven't found a film for years. La Grande Bellezza is magnificent, but it's typically Italian. It's got nothing really, it doesn't really tell you how to live better. Dilettante. Right. Yeah, because I couldn't watch it after the first half. But it's wonderful. She managed, I mean, the machinery behind making that film, clearly she did consult a lot. She was consulted by the filmmakers. And there's an interview, just so funny to watch what's happened. So she's got the interview of her, I think it's on BBC or ITV, it's on YouTube, 3 or 4 years ago, a couple of years ago, or maybe even a year ago. Her with the fella who's the film star. Oh, he's awful. Anyway, but he's so bought into it. You suffered injustice. You were homeless. I mean, what nobody said, of course, is the money they, I'm not being sexist, I bet you it was even more him, but anyway, so the money they embezzled, which is a crime, I should imagine it's kind of 10 years maximum, went into buying a house in France. Even if it's a bit of a wreck, the weather's nicer there, you can spend the winter happily in a roofless wreck in France. But then the real crime is the way she's conned her publishers. They won't have done too much due diligence, but then even the filmmakers and this film star man who thinks he's Pierce Brosnan but is some shabby just he's Bert Brosnan's Jaeger. Anyway, yeah, she's conned him into believing they suffered this great injustice to be evicted. It's just, that is. I mean, the first half of the film is basically, oh, we're the innocent victims of the badness out there. It is terribly important, actually. I love it. I'm so glad it's happened. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, there's only one thing that matters. When you're trying to have useful allies, it's not even a case of useful idiots. It's a case of there is no coherent conversation possible in this land. I do want to go to Serbia. I do actually want to go back to Bolivia. No, I know throughout most of Europe you're still able to have coherent communication, which means you have somebody you find more or less on the same level in terms of their mind. My mind isn't special. And you float a point with them. And then a week later, or 2 days later, or 2 weeks later, or next time you see them in the street, they come back to you. It's called ping pong. And they say, I've been thinking about what you said. Yes, we can have solidarity and perhaps even ethically hustle our way forward on that thing. Or I disagree with you. No. There is no communication. No coherent communication. Right, have I turned my camera on? I can't even remember. I've got incoherent disease, except I remember everything that I floated to anybody, especially, I've got to get it out. 2.5 years ago, I sent an audio called Purpose. Well, actually, no, it was November 2022. Purpose. Nothing's changed. Other than, for a couple of years, it's as if, in all sorts of ways. Yeah, fuck off, haters. I got invited to a bishop's private dinner table on Sunday. She's great, she's funny. God, she's been brutalised, bullied, hate crimed by me with the worst hate crime words imaginable. But to her, you see, every day is actually a new day, miraculously. Yeah, anyway, everything that I've been saying for years came true. You could see it in her eyes, her body. It came true. God, I made some very, very rude jokes about that. Anyway. Yes, I'm doing some very interesting, trying to summarize what every single 50-plus-year-old person I've encountered for years is utterly crushed by. Their total obsession with, if I am hamster wheelie enough, which they don't say, to be able to get to lots of different doctors and experts and afford the bus fare, even if it's just the bus, to go and get tests 50 miles away at some special place. They'll get a handle on their health issues, when, most of the time you should just ignore it. But much more importantly, I mean, I'm sorry, this is, Serbia would know, surely, maybe. I need to go and find out. No, the way to move forward, wellness-wise, is to do something really tough. Not Sudoku, not self-care. It's to do something really tough that had the bishop in her car. She's cancelled. In her car, freaking out. And she had to persist through being freaked out because there was a greater badness, a greater heart, a greater cliff in front of her and her husband. And then, as she said, it's as if my brain rewired and started to actually make itself fucking grow up and get better because it needed to. So ends the lesson.